Hello everybody. In this video, we're going to start a series of understanding a little bit more how Vue.js work and how it actually helps us in the development of the application. We started last week with the Vue Grocery app, where we saw the benefit to use a framework like Vue. On top of that, we use Tailwind for the styling, and it helped us a lot regarding the different elements that we need to have in our application. Now, but everything was created in one file. We introduced a single file component, the FSC area, and those are the Vue files where we can actually define the script with pretty much JavaScript, the template that is pretty much your HTML, and the style that is pretty much the CSS. And we even introduced the concept of post CSS in order to do some styling a little bit different, or nested styling, that I will save some lines of code here and there. So on top of that, I want to introduce now the concept of components. We already utilize the application.vue as the main application that's been generated, but now we'll be creating different components and we'll call those, and they will have their own names and they will be rendering through the application. So what I want to do today is start doing the layout in this video about simple company directory. Let's say that we have a company and we need to create a directory. Let's say something similar as staff directory from the college. And we will have like a list of employees, and we can search through those employees and we can click on them in order to see details. Something like that. We will not create the whole app right now, but I think will be enough in order to do the main page. And the main page will have a Navbar, and we will add some kind of search bar, not functional for now, we will just do the layout. And then we'll add the different elements, probably like cards, where we can specify different objects or different persons in there. Now, what type of person we want to use on a library called Faker. The Faker library will help us to generate fake information. That way our application will look full with data somehow. And I think that should be enough. And also, in order not to start from scratch, the way that we did it last week, I created this Vue basic template. This is a basic template already cleared up and already with Tailwind configuration in there. Something that we already have, and the post CSS, everything should be there. Oops, probably the nesting is not, but well, we can fix that. Other than that, it's just a really basic application that it has a simple hello there in the middle. But instead of creating through the command line npm init byte bit, and then start installing all the components the way that we saw it, we can just go here and click that button, use this template. And if you want to know how I did this, well, if you have a template or base repository, you go to settings and just enable the template name, and that should be it. That will allow me just to click it, and now it will just create a new one from that particular one. So let me check my name. I will call this Vue company directory. And let me add just a description. In this case, it will be Vue company directory. In this case, fake app for CISC for a 360. This actually CO, sorry. Let's make it public, and I will create a repository. It will generate that, and we can see that it's already have my new name. And now that it's created, I have a new repository. What I will can follow now is just to produce and clone this repository so we will not start from scratch. Now, so we have that, we can just go to code and click in this little button. Now, as you can see, I have SSH here. In your case, if you don't have SSH or you don't know what it is, that means that you don't have it. So you should see the HTTPS version. And it's really fine just to clone that. I already have set up my SSH. That's why I can see this option over here. Even if you have this GitHub CLI, I will not introduce that in this video. You can actually use this one too. But for now, I will just type SSH for me. In your case, use the HTTPS version. So you can just clone it, or copy over, go to your terminal, and I have my terminal already open here. And as you can see, I'm already inside my projects folder. I was asked before, what about what was this that it says project? Is pretty much where I'm located. If I do pwd, I'm in my home directory in my projects folder. It's pretty much where I am. And you say, well, that looks different than my computer. Yes, I have the WSL environment. That's pretty much like a Linux on top of Windows, something like that. But in your case, should be something really, really similar. Doesn't matter you're on a Mac computer or on a Windows computer. You just need to locate the directory where you want to have your project, and just do a simple git clone and paste it. Then we just go to view company directory. I will inside that folder. Now I can see that I'm inside my folder, and I can do simple npm install. That will install the dependencies I already have, and then I can actually just open it with code dot. Other than that, I will just do a npm run dev. It will open my environment. Just have it right here, and this is my application. So I put this other right. Let me just put this one on the left, and I will have my code right here. As you can see, I already have some elements. The index file that we just talked about. The package.json, we have some scripts already there, some setups. If you receive a recommendation window in the bottom right, I will prefer, and it's a recommendation that you accept it and install all those. That will allow you to do some configurations and some extensions that are useful for Vue.js. Which extensions those are, I can actually show you that through here in the extension. I'm recommending to install Bolar in order to have Vue.js. I recommend to have ESLint, Prettier, and Tailwind. ESLint and Prettier just for code formatting will help you to be consistent and to allow you to see errors when your tag is not closed, or allow you to verify that you follow the rules or your variables are being utilized, things like that, right? You just try to avoid some basic errors that you could have. So I would say that some settings, that's really opinionated settings, but that will allow you those particular extensions to actually work or integrate with Visual Studio Code. This is a really opinionated way, but it's the setup that I have, so you will have the same behavior in your end whenever you try that. Okay. So the first thing that I want to do here, before we proceed, I just want to change the name. My application will be Vue Basic Template anymore. Will be Fake Company Directory. Okay, we have that there. And I would like to add some basic class to the whole body. Let me do it through the component that we're actually inserting here. Oops. So I will add the minimum edge screen, and I will like background the slate. And you see this auto completion. That extension will allow you to have that. We'll say probably it's 300. Let me save it. That will make my window a little gray. I think that should be enough. I would like to open my package.json, and I have it right here. And I will change this to the same name that I had it, and view company directory. Probably you should have that name, view company directory. There you go. And we keep the rest as it is. We go here, we just add those and call initial setup and comment the code. If I need to synchronize something really cool, is I just click sync change, and those are going to be pushed, and will allow me to already have it right here. So I can see that my initial setup is already there, and pretty much it's telling me the changes that we just created, right? Okay, perfect. So what I want to proceed now is start talking about that concept of components through these files. And those components usually are in the source directory inside the components directory. You see that we have a git keep file. This is because the component directory was empty. So I just created a simple empty git keep in order to no lose the empty directory in git. Don't worry, you can delete actually this file. And what I want to add here, I will add inside my components folder, I will add a navbar .view. This navbar will have the elements that I will like to have here at the top. Those elements will allow us to then utilize this navbar and don't have our script or main application view too cluttered at the moment. So let's do a simple template for now. Let's do a simple template. Let's do a simple H1. And let's call hello there. Hmm. And what else we can do? If I save this, okay, let's go to application view. And something really cool that we can have is, let's remove this section. We don't need it. No, let's keep it for now. After we import view in this case, let me just import. And forget that suggestion. I will import my navbar from components navbar view. And this is just the path where we are located. And that navbar, we can actually call it before the main section. I can call it as a simple component. Just there's two ways. I believe we can do something like this. Navbar. And you can see that I created this component. I'm importing it. I can see the rendering right there. Pretty neat. So now that we have that, we can actually start working in what we actually need to have and that it's been already set up and it's already been gone. Let's delete the rest of the elements that we don't need here. We don't need the title. And we don't need this one either. Perfect. Did you see those changes over here when I save it? For example, if I do click, I see some error. It's actually telling me, hey, delete those extra lines. You don't need those. Don't worry. If you save it, Control S, that auto completion, auto recommendation will trigger and it will kick off. It will keep your code consistent. across the board. Now I have some extra element that is actually moving when I do an enter. You actually move it to the left, and then I save it, put it where it's supposed to. Yeah, that's something that I need to be fixed in my end. And let's just put simple h1, call this main content. So we can actually see something there. Okay, we have our navbar and our main content. So let's start making some change on the styling for navbar itself. And just to verify that everything is working, let's do a simple script tag, script setup, and let's just do a simple import. Let's call this from view, and we need to, oops, view, and sorry for that. And let's import ref. And we'll do a simple const title equal reference. Let's call this company directory. And let's actually set up title. Let's call this brand. And this is redundant, that we will not change this across the board, but just in this case to be a little more, to see that view is actually doing what it's supposed to. So let's do a simple, let me see if I had it, emoji sense. Oops. Yes, and it's supposed to be really simple to add from there. Let's see. There you go. Let me see if I do Windows dot. I think it is. Yes, in Windows dot. I don't have the same for Mac, not on the top of my head, but it will be like a quick way that Windows already has for the four emojis. Let me do, I don't know, building. Something like this probably. And let's save it and let's print here our brand. There you go, my company directory. Let's actually do then the full name, fake company directory. Oh, and now that we have that, we need to start working with our layout and what we want to have here. So let's say that we need to do navigation. I will have a wrapper. The div with class wrapper, and there probably something div with class brand. Have the brand there, and I'm not doing. I trying to use the auto completion and not working the way it's supposed to. Do class brand. Looks like today I don't know how to use Visual Studio Code. I'm so sorry for that. And inside more class brand, I will do a simple span. And let's do our brand name here. Cool. Let's call this class. And we will use yeah, a little something like this. Brand's title. So we have our brander, and then we'll have our div class, and let's do menu. And here we'll have a different links that will not point to anywhere for now. And let's do, I don't know, something like the departments. And let's add the class here. Class will be menu item. That's our second one, settings. And let's say that we are ready to authenticate it. So let's add another one for logout. Perfect. And let's do a simple class to see what is actually we have here. So something I love about Tailwind is I can do a simple check, something like background red. I don't know, something that I would not use, but just to see. And I will say pretty much by my component what part is actually uses from my window. So I can see that is the part that the component has. And I think that will be the whole structure. What I need to do is I need to make this a little larger, higher. If this instead of being on the bottom, should be on the right. And we should have like a space in the middle. And probably we have the doesn't go all the way to the borders. And a little bigger letter, I will say. And I think that should be it. It's really, really simple. It's a really basic navigation. I'm not focusing right now in doing responsive design. That's another concept that we can talk later if you need it. But for now, let's use this. So let's do oops, style code. So we can actually, that mean that this styling will not change anything outside. And forget my error completion. There is my AI trying to guess what I need. It's just Copilot, pretty cool. Well, CSS. And before we proceed, we need to open or something that I forget. I will say probably you will not need to do this, but I need it. In this video, you should have it right there. So what I will need to do is post CSS config, and I will add a couple of lines here. This will be already there whenever you try the template. Cool. I mean, getting this out of the way. Perfect. So now I can start working a little bit in the styling. And this video is already getting longer. We're over 20 minutes, so we need to hurry up. So let's do some styling here. And let's call our main navigation. And let's apply something here. And I want to be one of the color biggie slate 900. I love that color. There you go. I will do text a little clearer. Perfect. And I need this to be flex. And I need justify between. Yeah. Item center. Yeah, I like it. And it didn't apply it. Why didn't apply it? Oh, it doesn't matter. It's actually, it should be the grapper, not here. So we have background slate, text slate. Let's just do the high. I have something like 20. I think it's a good size. And now inside our navigation, we have our dot wrapper. And we can use a simple apply. And then we do flex. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Flex, justify between, item center. Let me do escape, items, center. Let me save. Let's see if it actually works. It is not working. Why is it not working? In theory, flex item center justify between should allow me to have this to the right. Let me see what is actually happening. Give me a minute. Okay, that was easy. Sorry for that. I needed to stop my implementation, so I just closed my server, run it again, and it just worked. And it did what it's supposed to. It's because in my case, I added the other element. If you had it, probably you didn't have that issue. So let's proceed. So now we have that there. Okay, I like it. So now it makes sense to have this flex here, items, center, and probably there you go. And let's do justify between. Why now I see it like that? Slide, I'm checking my notes right now. It actually doesn't make sense at all. That, put that there. Okay. I'm trying to troubleshoot what is happening. So my navigation should have one div, and that div should be just in the middle. So if I do, I don't know, flex, does that, but I don't know why my wrapper now doesn't work the way it's supposed to. Oh, I need to change the size W full, more likely. Yeah. And let's change this one. Okay, let me do something like this. Okay. And I will do an extra container here. Container. There you go. That will allow me to have some styling that will keep some kind of sizing where it's supposed to. Perfect. So we have the title and we have that there. So what I did is just put like a container. MX auto mean like centralized, giving margin left and right automatic. I want to see as a flex with everything we justify between, space between, and with the element center. When they're supposed to, because the pattern is actually a flex item. The same as the flex wrapper is. Okay, now that we have that, we can actually start working with the brand. And the brand is inside our wrapper, so we can do dot brand here. And for the brand, let's do a simple apply. Actually, I don't think we need to do much on the brand. It's not the brand itself. Probably we need just to do on the brand. And I want to show you this. And the child's element add title. I want to make a little bit bigger with font bold. Ooh, something wrong with my indentation. Let me see what's happening there. Okay, my visual skill is messing up. I'm so sorry again for that. It looks like this video is full of errors on my side. I'm sorry. So I just had like an extra closing bracket at the end and was messing up with everything. So now that I have background, I don't need to do anything in the brand. Actually, I just need to do something for the title. And this is redundant, but I just want to show you the benefit of having that kind of names too. I can do some title because this is actually brand title, so I can use a nested object and title to brand title. I will have a simple apply, and let's do text hooks L. Okay. What else we can use? Let's see. Work. Oh, title of course need to be. There you go. Bigger name, and let's actually do font bold. Yeah, I like that. But probably can do just text. Let's do a darker gray. Well, let's a little more bold probably. Let's do yellow. There you go. By company directory. Cool. And as a sister from brand, we have our menu. And in this menu, I would just like to apply a simple flex element because I want to have a gap of 2. So we'll keep just make this a little bit separation there. Let me save it. And it's supposed to work. Of course, it never does. Oh, yes, because I have classe instead of class here. There you go. So now I have that little separation. And I can do now to my and item. I can do a simple apply. Let's do simple hover. Whenever I put something on top, I want this to be background slate 300, and it should be background. So pretty cool about hover. And if you have issues about what to apply, just look on the Tailwind documentation. So I will just to have that little background there. Perfect. And actually I can just probably use yellow. Now that we're using yellow, and let's do the same tone, 500. There you go. Of course, the text need to change some hover, so let's go cover text slate. Nice. But now let's actually do that little gap that we should be. Let's do some padding left, right, or I'm padding up and down y of 2. Probably. So we give a little more separation. Now we can actually see there a little bit better. And probably let's do some rounded elements. Let's do rounded medium. There you go. Perfect. I love it. Something that probably they will use for logout. I probably need to remark this like an action item and not as another link. So instead of do a menu item, let's actually make into some menu login element. And we'll do for my element and login. And if we have like a login button, will be pretty much the same, right? And let's apply for now the same elements, and then let's do some changes here and there. So probably instead of what can do here? Let's add it like a background, probably like a red 500. So that will be there always, and then we hover rechange. So probably we can hover over to A darker red. I don't know. Could be. Yeah. And the text probably stay the same. Or we can actually do the text here to be red 300. Ooh, doesn't look that good. Let's do 100. Better, a little bit better. And we have that kind of construct there for the logout, and then we have the buttons for there. And what I like is that we apply the gap on the parent element, on the menu itself. So we have that separation here. If we didn't apply that gap here, this padding should change. We'll show this all together. But yeah, I think we have our menu. And that should be it. I will not do the logic for now. That will be another video. But that will be the element. The idea is to have like a login here and hide some icons. This one, the settings, if you are log out. So when you log in, this will be like a private element. So let's keep it like that for now. So let's move forward. Let's do now that I would like to have another component. Let's actually add all this and let's put here added navigation, layout, and commit and sync it just in case. And now our application have that. So let's remove our main component. So let's actually let's have a component called main. It doesn't exist for now. That's okay. And we need to import it. Will be main from main. If it doesn't exist, it will fail. Say, hey, I don't know who you are. That's okay. Let's go on component. We can create another one. Let's call this one main.view. And let's do a simple template. You do simple traditional hello there. If this still fails and doesn't render, will be as simple just to close the server and run it again. Okay. So now we extrapolate or factor our main component. From here, I want to have several elements. And I want to show you that application view is not the only one that can actually import some components. We can actually define it. The other view can actually import those too. So let's create a new one, and I would like to call this main search view. And I call it like that because it's going to belongs to main. It's just a naming convention that I like to have. Sometimes I put those like inside folders. But for now, I think that should be enough. And let's call the simple template. And let's do h1 and search bar. This will be the search bar that we need. And this search bar will be inside main. So we can actually do a script setup. And we'll be importing. Import main search from where? For main search. .view. And then we can actually call that, and that will be right here. So we have our search bar that is in our main component or main search inside the main. That at the same time main is inside application view. So that now you can actually start looking at modularity that we can actually have through Vue.js and how it actually help us refactor application in independent component itself. Something extra that I would like to add you is depending where the browser you are, I would recommend to review DevTools and install the version depending on the browser where you are. Right, Chrome, Firefox, Edge, whatever you need it. Just install it, and if you do that, you will be able, I already did, go to inspect, and you have an element here, and this looks really bad. Let me actually put this on the bottom, probably. Will look a little bit better. Where is it? There you go. Okay. At the end, we have the view. Right? And now there, we can actually see how different components behave. And we'll be using a lot later. But for now, you will see that the Navbar component is right here. The main one is here. And then inside the main, we have a main search. And those are actually different elements. And then we will see and we'll utilize this for future reference. But for now, it's pretty cool because you can actually see what is the layout or the tree about the component that you'll be adding through the future. So this is a really good tool. In this case, I will not use it for now, so let me close it. And let's proceed. And let's speed up a little bit. So I usually, this is just a convention that I have. It should not be the same for everybody. And probably it's not the best one either. But somehow my mind is just sticking to that. So I like to have pretty much all my components through wrappers. It's what I do. And here I will have just an input box. And I will have, for now, the simple input box. So when I put this, so let's put it over here to be a little more styling. So let's do, it did a lot for us. Oh, what it did. What is missing here? Let's say if actually did what it's supposed to. Almost. But it's not exactly what I need. So let's just remove this one about the input. And I don't like it either. So it needs to be a flex item. It needs to be full. And I want to my items to stretch, to just increase some sizing, right? But also, something that we'll be using here is that this element itself will be relative. And I will show you that later why I need a relative element here. Before I proceed to do the rest, I would like this actually to be a little more stylistic here, but that styling doesn't belong to the search bar itself. It belongs to his parent, that is our main component. So probably here, what can I actually do is another div element, class wrapper, and I grab everything there. So that will allow me to do some styling. And that styling, and I have my notes over here. Flex column, yeah, like that. This one probably, no, it's not needed. So do the flex column, we see that the styling just increases because it will increase, we have the white full, and depending his parent, what it has. So we can, if you do some max width of 1/2 of the screen, didn't like it. Why didn't like it? Class don't exist. Oh, yeah, it's not max width, it's width. So if I define it there, it's just something like that. But do width, let's do 60, for example. And you're not doing it, of course, it never does. But if we remove it, it just, okay, yeah. The flex call is actually just stretch the element out. Right? Let's keep it like that. I was trying to do something that I was not able to show. So I do container element that will just grab a little bit and let's central this mx-auto. Okay. Now we have that. And let's do a little bit of padding up and down of 4 more likely. There you go. And let's just in case for the future, let's put a gap between the element of 4. Cool. So now our search bar is actually looking a little bit better. And the search bar, what we need to do is really simple. And before we actually do the styling, let's do some element here. So let's do type text, that stays. And let's do a placeholder. Let's call this placeholder search staff member. So we have that little text over there. Okay. And let's call a class. And let's make this class to be search. In our wrapper, let's that our search element. Let's apply some styling. So let's do a simple padding 3, padding y 4. That will make it a little bit bigger. Cool. Let's see if we can actually change the color of the placeholder. Late 300 maybe? Placeholder. Oops. Could be a little clearer. Let's make it a little probably 5. Yeah, I like that. Probably no. Let's do 400. Yeah, I think that's enough in order to keep the consistent of the gray, the gray color that we're using over here. And if I write something, I want to that text to be late. I don't know, 600. Yeah, could be 7. Yeah, 7 probably is a little bit better. Let's do rounded medium. So we have the same rounded as his parent. Sorry, as the icons that we have in here. Something extra that you saw, probably that little border. That's the default for how can I call it? Forget the name. Do this component to be accessible? It's easy to see when that is being focused, but that color doesn't go through the app itself. So let's actually change it. And for that, I just need to do a border 0. Right. And then after border 0, need to do outline none. Okay, now we remove it. But now we need to add it back with some type of color in order to make it work the way it's supposed to. So let's do, whenever we focus this element, we can call a ring. Now we have that little styling, and we can actually change the color about with focus dot ring. Oops. And let's do yellow, probably. And let's do 500. What it says now. Ring opacity. Custom class. Where is ring opacity? Okay, I don't know why this was added. Okay, now we have that little color outside. And I think should be more than enough. What else can we add here? Probably this. Let's make it this a little bit bigger. 8. Oops. This one. 8. Yeah, I like it. And what I want to do, if after input, I want to add another element. Let's call this span for now. And let's make this span an S. And we'll change that later. What I will do with that span element, and this is the pretty cool thing. Let's actually that class, and let's call this M as an icon. That will be a little icon. I would like to add floating over here without affecting the whole element. So, and that's the reason that we created the wrapper as a relative, because now I can actually call my icon, and I can do some styling here. So let's apply. The first thing that we need to do is absolute. Now that we have the absolute, we can do my right. Now it's an absolute element to be 0. We push it over there. Let's do my padding right of 8. So we have the same separation that we have for hello here. Same separation that we have right there. And then we have the same separation somehow. Now I need to bring this to the bottom a little bit. And that's adding with this padding, the same padding that we added to the search element. Oh. Something in order not to make it behave differently. Let's actually do C10. Let's just bring it up a little bit in the syntax. So what else? And that should be it. That should be pretty cool. I will add now, we can actually go to a page. It's called Hero Icons. It's from the same guys who did actually Darwin. And we can look for search. And let me see that I actually want to use this one over here, Magnific Glass. So let's copy the SVG. I can close it. And instead of an S, I can paste that and save it. And now I have my little icon of the search bar. Pretty neat, right? Let's change the text to Slate 500, maybe? Could be. Let's reduce it to 300. No, it's too much. 400. There you go. So now that we have a search bar with that little icon. Cool. I will stop the video now. And I will proceed another one in order to continue for the rest of the work. So far, what we did, we created the search component and we created the navigation bar layout. What I want to do now is I want to create a card, and that card will be repeated any quantity of times here, and probably a navigation element at the bottom. So it's still a couple of things that we need to finish, and I will do that on the next video. Meanwhile, let's just push it. Okay. Search bar. If you have any question, any doubt, don't hesitate to reach me. Happy coding, everybody.